Connect is a community-focused design which focuses heavily on community interaction, well-being, and a modular design which is custom designed and manufactured for that purpose. The design aims to focus on community engagement as well as privacy when that is desired. The spirit of Fremantle and its characteristics are being kept true on site through the integration and play of materials as well as occupancy. Through wrapping the design in an open grid, vegetation grows freely through the site, acting as a wayfinder and creating peaceful community spaces. The construction of the apartments being modular and robust, as well as focusing on adaptive reuse, construction speed, and the ability to fit on any site. As the modules have clip-on, clip-off facades, they are able to be adjusted to suit the site. The site approach begins with a large open café with the stripped down warehouse to a large open skeleton. The design also provides features such as study spaces and click and collect to allow for the fresh cafe produce as well as items from the cafe, which can partially transform into a community market space. The modular apartments aim to be as environmentally sustainable as possible, focusing on the life cycle of materials. The modules are produced out of CLT timber frame, SIPs, and WeatherTex cladding. The red brick on site alongside the timber are used to renew the warehouse as well as to create timber facades and flooring. The plates of the terraces being modular, allowing the terraces and outdoor spaces to be moved around if need be. The site stays true to the context of Fremantle with the remaining heritage and enhancement of materials near the site. The creation of such a design delivers community and client value due to the community and warm environment which is created in Fremantle. The design optimises circulation, daylight, the separation and ease of transition from private to public, whilst also providing ventilation and views. The design is advanced due to the selection of SIPS walls for panels and using WeatherTex and exterior cladding that give the design a 90-90-90 fire rating. As seen in the first diagram, circulation through the space is highlighted through the timber terracing and timber decking. The site's accessibility is mainly from the western side, as the summer sun is at a 81-degree angle that is optimised through the placement of balconies and living rooms as well as shading devices. As seen in the second diagram, each of the modules has a balcony on either the north or the east, meaning the main circulation and public spaces occur around the atrium. The purple outlining the terraces, which are more so for the occupants, and the yellow highlighting the public areas, which is present on the levels below. The third diagram illustrating the ventilation throughout the space, optimising the Freo Doctor, meaning that the southwest wind in the summer and northeastern wind in the winter will be utilised. The design is done in such a way that from all areas of the apartment there is surveillance, adding to the safety as well as there being longitudinal views. The images on the right illustrating how community has been considered from the approach through to the views. The spaces being well thought out from the approach through to the welcoming inside, maximising the building's facilities and all of the private features that it has. The design unleashing the potential for new technologies through the stirrup brackets, passive design, floor plate connections, and materiality. The click-in, click-out features allow for the design to be reorientated. The stirrup brackets allow for the ease of construction and stability, allowing for multiple connections. The clip-on features, such as the window frames and the click-in flooring, cater for modular design. As seen in the diagrams, the main new technologies being used are the stirrup brackets, the SIPS panels cladded with WeatherTex, the clip-on window frames, and the click-in flooring. The modules are connected similar to an I-beam connection, with the connection being made through a stirrup bracket. This means the modules are easily accessible and connected. As seen in the second diagram, SIPS internal and external panels make up the modules. SIPS panels, gypsum and plasterboard make up the external layer. The exterior wall with gyprock, fry-check, moisture resistant plasterboard. As seen in the third diagram, the modules have a timber frame. As for the design for manufacture and assembly, this was a focus for the engineers. The module is designed for ease of assembly and disassembly due to the way in which the module is crafted. The splitting of the modules into two parts with a CLT load-bearing wall allows for strength and stability when being transported. The minimizing of material types allows for the design to be easily constructed and deconstructed. Reuse of red brick on site will therefore reduce the assembly process and will take into consideration the circular economy. The design was built for assembly and disassembly as it reduced the amount of chemical connection and rather focuses on mechanical connection. The stirrup brackets mean the design has structural integrity whilst reducing the amount of chemical connections. The WeatherTex and bamboo timber flooring also reduces the amount of chemical connectors. The points of assembly are highlighted above, so the three main points of connection from one module to the next, its connection to the roof and the CLT panel, which is used is a load-bearing wall in the centre. Working alongside the engineers allowed for deeper understanding into the construction systems and the structural integrity behind the built form. This resulted in the use of connections such as the stirrup bracket as seen above and the use of spline joint connection as seen below. The further use of elements such as glulam beams had also allowed for a more environmentally sustainable construction. As the design layers gyprock panels with SIPS panels and WeatherTex, this results in high durability and fire resistance, creating a 90-90-90 design. The SIPS panels allow for easy construction together with the glulam beams and stirrup connections. New construction and smart technologies have been considered through the connections, the materiality and the placement of beams. The stirrup brackets allowing for ease of connection and allow the design to be easily connected and disassembled, as well as structural support to each module and reduce the need for a greater volume of materials. The SIPS panels allowing for the modules to be airtight and reduced the need for HVAC systems, with the WeatherTex cladding creating a 90-90-90 fire rating. The modules will feature a CLT wall down the centre for structural stability and allow the design to be brought to the site. The beams placed along the walls being glulam beams and are beneficial due to their sustainability. The main materials being gypsum board, SIPS panels, CLT and WeatherTex. The high building performance and whole building life cycle being seen in the materiality choice and the overall price. The materials chosen will reduce the amount of waste and can also be recycled. The site also features reused elements such as the red brick and timber found on. The design for manufacture produced a design which is warm in tone and allows for the community to feel comfortable and have all facilities needed. The extension of the warehouse being seen in this image, creating a shelter, central hub, hierarchy, and also views for the residents. As for designing for climate emergency, screw piles have been utilised to allow for the modules to be stabilised into the ground and in case of any weather emergency will be well supported. SIPS panels will also allow for the design to have a higher fire rating alongside the use of WeatherTex cladding, which is also sustainable and has a pleasant aesthetic appeal. The design focuses heavily on simplicity and materiality, which is seen through the elevations. The choice of simple materials allowing for reduction in wastes. The community was considered through outdoor zones, community gathering and wayfinding in the study and cafe areas, along with the click and. These images illustrate the project and the materiality chosen to create the environment, the building being approachable as it has large volumes of space and does not have an intimidating feeling. The building creates a warm, welcoming aura and provides wayfinding through the timber decking. All community facilities are considered from the cafe to the intimate study spaces. The design slowly transitions with the terracing to allow for private and public spaces to be created. The design aims to achieve community well-being through the design and manufacture, and also the timber is used as a way to wayfind throughout the entire building, which is reused from the original site.